Hey guys, today is April 28th, so I am getting a jump on my May the 4th Read With You readathon. I'm sorry if you guys can hear mowing in the background. My kiddo and husband have stepped outside to take care of the yard, but this is the only time I had time to film today. So I am going to a jazz dinner for my niece. I'll probably post some B-roll for you. They're going to be performing, and it's to support her school and the jazz band at her school. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm found out that my little nephew actually plays ball down the street from us on Mondays, so you guys might see some of that too. Just us getting out of the house and doing things, which I've just been focusing on recently. And I know that my mental health has not been great over the last month, but guys, I am very, very excited about the TBR for May. So pumped, because these are books that I have been dying to read, just haven't let myself do it, been focused on obligation reads for so long that it's burning me out on everything. But these books, I'm pumped. The reason we are here today is to let you know 3 of the prompts that I missed in my May the 4th Read With You. I've figured them out. So one of the dark side prompts is transfer essence, and it is steal a book off of someone's TBR. Did I wait till Leslie posted her TBR because I knew this was coming up on her TBR? Yes, I did. No Port in a Storm by Cal Black. I am currently reading No Land for Heroes. I'm loving it. I really love this world. I really love these characters. Cal has done such a great job of immersing you in this world as best as she can, and is just pulling me along for the ride. I love books like that. I love books like that. I really love Millie, and there's a few other characters that I'm starting to really enjoy. Sweet Pea is a delight, and it's a fantasy western, so it's kind of outside the box for me, but not, because I'm from Oklahoma, so westerns are kind of in our blood. I just want to say that. But I will be reading No Port in a Storm for that, because I plan to finish No Land for Heroes here in the next few days. I'm going to buckle down and read the book I want to read. I have set everything else aside because of my mental health. I have taken time off from everything else. And then I needed, for telekinesis in my neutral prompt, I was going to be reading Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach. It's a short book. However, I just got the audio for Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty, The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi, from Libby. So this will be the book I start the month out with, and it is a neutral prompt, so I do still get ability points for it, but it had to be a borrowed book. And while I will be listening to it, that means it's coming from Libby, even though I actually own the book itself. So is that cheating? It might be cheating. I don't know, but that's what we're going with. Read a book, the blaster prompt, read a book in a different spot every time you pick it up to read it. I have Under One Roof coming from Libby as well, and so I will be listening to that for my blaster prompt. And then for Galactic Empire, you guys saw I was so excited about Beyond Redemption actually being chosen, because it's in my reader toss, and I'm like, I'm going to end up getting rid of this book without ever even reading it. That's just how I'm currently feeling right now. That's what's going to happen. But there is a series I have been dying to read. Am I going to start another series? Yeah, that's going to happen. But guys, Patrick Weeks, the writer of Dragon Age, wrote a series, a trilogy, and it's kind of like an Ocean's 11 heist type thing, and he writes that so well. We've seen it. So The Palace Job, I am so excited to read this. This is the first in a trilogy, like I said, and I'm over the moon to be reading something by Patrick Weeks, because I love Dragon Age, absolutely love Dragon Age. So putting this on the list is just, it's getting me very excited. Like I said, the whole stack is exciting, and that hasn't happened to me in so long. All of the obligation reads, the SPSFC, I was excited to participate, I will say that, but reading books that you didn't choose yourself can sometimes put you in a slump, and I feel like that's what's happened. I have had some other issues outside of reading that has put me in a slump, just personally, mental slump, and so I didn't need the addition of books I didn't really choose myself for my mental health. Let's just say that. That's all I can say about that. I will be posting a video with the semi-finalists and talking about what my journey with SPSFC has been like. So be on the lookout for that. If that goes up before this, it might, because this is a vlog. But yeah, I mean, these three I am very, very excited to add to the stack. That does mean that I have 12 books on my current TBR. If you guys have been following me for a while, you will know it's doable. It's really doable for me. So I don't feel like I've added too much pressure to myself with 12 books on a TBR. I'm very excited for all of these. So I can't see, you know, I'm not picking up what I want to read. I can't see that being a problem, because these are all anticipated reads, all of them. And I just think this reset that I've had over the last week was really needed. I do plan to finish No Land for Heroes before the start of the readathon for May the Force Read With You. If I don't, I don't, guys. I'm not going to be putting any more pressure on myself to like have a deadline for when these books have to be read, because I feel like that's why Azura Ghost never got read, or never fully got read, is because I set these time limits and then I didn't meet it and I felt like I had to move on, which sucks because Azura Ghost is amazing, amazing. We're breaking some cycles here. We are breaking some cycles. And I feel like once SPSFC is over, I will completely break all of those cycles that I had set myself into. There are books that I've gotten from Hachette that I haven't read because I've been so focused on these other obligations. And I'm like, those are obligations too, even if you want to read them. Those are still obligations. You had an obligation to Hachette to finish those books. And so my brain has been twisting around on itself with all of that stuff recently. And if you guys can't tell, I'm in a much better headspace than I have been over the last month. And I think the couple days off just really made me have to rethink what I'm doing. I have fallen into booktube pitfalls before, and I'm trying to avoid that now. And I feel like my FOMO has kind of gone away. I don't latch onto books due to what other people are saying anymore, but I do still have that mentality of SPSFC must take priority and obligation reads must take priority over what I want to read. And, you know, even if what I want to read is an obligation read, like I committed to Hachette to do this. So then I fight against it. That's how I am. I fight against it. I don't want to do it. And it creates just this really weird catch-22. Like I can't seem to get myself out of that sometimes. Okay, that was a very chatty explanation of what has happened over the last month with me mentally, what has happened to my reading, and why I took a week off. But I am very, very excited going into this new month with the May the Force Read With You Readathon. These 12 books are so very exciting, like I said, and I'm hoping it makes a turnaround for me, because I do not like being in a reading slump. Reading is my escape. Like I said before, I read to escape. That's why they're all fantasy over here. But Amina Al-Sarafi, I'm looking forward to that a lot. I do know that it's like a questing type story, so I'm not expecting to like give it a 5-star, but I've read Davabad. I've read the first book of Davabad, so I know that she can do slow builds very well. I know that she can write the adventure without it feeling like we're just trudging alongside the character. And so I'm, like I said, looking forward to that quite a bit. And then adding Patrick Weeks to this list made me so incredibly happy. Dragon Age. I will always love Mass Effect and Dragon Age. They will always be top tier for me. And I have read some from the authors themselves, from the writers of Dragon Age. I have read some. And then, of course, I've read David Gator quite a few times, and he is the original writer of Dragon Age. So yeah, like, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. And I hope you guys will stay pumped with me. I know that this was really chatty, and I apologize for that. There were just things I needed to get off my chest, and a vlog is the great place to do it, right? Right? Okay. I will see you guys in my next update. Hey guys, I am popping in for an update here. Okay, I went at this book hardcore today, The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi. So I am reading this for my telekinesis prompt. It's a neutral prompt, but it does still gain me abilities. And that does mean upon completion, I will be a Sith apprentice. And I like this book. I like it. I don't think this is my style of book, which is so sad because there's no way I'm getting rid of this. It's stunning. It is the most beautiful book we've gotten from Fairy Loot. But I'm feeling like a 3.5 or 4-star right now with it. And like I said, I went at this hardcore. I'm like 80% of the way through this thing. I don't know that this is my style. Like I said, it's very much an adventure fantasy, but it's not one of those where you just feel like you're trudging along. It's not that. It's first person, but the first person is broken up by like fourth wall breaks and stuff like that, which I tend to like. I do tend to like that. And then we've got, let me see if I can find. So we've got like these reports and stuff like that that are part of it too, which is a different narrator because I am borrowing this from Libby. That's how I'm using the telekinesis prompt. I don't know. So I love this about Draconis Memoria. It's one of my favorite things about Draconis Memoria, where you are like wrapped up in this story and then little nuggets are dropped to you via these reports. That I love that about Draconis Memoria so much. But here, I'm not sure that it fits well into the flow of the story, where Draconis is definitely, it feels like it's part of this vast world. It doesn't suit this story, I don't think, but I am enjoying like the fourth wall breaks. I am enjoying the character of Amina quite a lot, but I feel like because it's in first person, this world, these side characters that we're meeting along the way, they're not very well fleshed out. And it's hurting my enjoyment of this quite a bit, which is, again, odd for me to say because characters are not usually the focus for me. But I am feeling that a lot with this. I'm a little bummed. I am a little bummed. I mean, I'm glad I read it. And it is enjoyable. It's just, it's falling very short of what I expected from Shannon Chakraborty. And like I said, I don't really know why, because it's not, it is an adventure fantasy, which I tend not to like, but this one's not reading at that treasury pace or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't know what I don't like about it. What am I not liking about this? Because I'd still recommend it, but I don't know that I could highly recommend it or justify, you know, paying a pretty penny for a copy like this. I just don't know. My stack is still very exciting. This is not putting me off to the rest of my stack. I am debating what book I'm going to pick up next because I have a couple on this list that are very exciting. And I kind of wanted to pick up Stardust Thief next, but I think I'm going to kind of break up the fantasy so I'm not reading books that feel the same, because this is a seafaring adventure and that is a desert fantasy, but I don't think they're different enough and I need to break that up. So I think I'm actually probably going to read One Dark Window next. It is fantasy, but it's a gothic fantasy, and I've never had a gothic fantasy before, and I'm very excited to figure out what that looks like, because one of the big things about gothic is the huge payoff, and a lot of the reason that I don't like slow-paced fantasy is because there's not a huge payoff in the end. It's not what I'm wanting. It's not the big, impactful ending I'm looking for with a gothic. And I've heard mixed reviews on One Dark Window, but it seems so very much up my alley that I need to find out. I need to find out. Now, I do want to give a little bit of an update on the things that I set aside. I have not set aside No Land for Heroes, but I have talked to Cal, and she has told me that she will kindly send me the audiobook because she knows how much I struggle sometimes to get in physical reading time, and I really want to read No Land for Heroes and wrap it up so that I can move on to No Port in the Storm. So she has said that she will send that to me when it's ready, and I might just switch over to the audiobook then whenever I get that. but I am still really enjoying that. The Iron Crown, I did start it and I was really enjoying it. But whenever I decided that I needed to just take a break, I just set it aside for now. I know I built a whole TBR and didn't put that back on there, and that's my fault. I have that whole out of sight, out of mind thing whenever it comes to audio, but I will pick it back up in June. I am going on vacation in June. I think that will be the perfect book to listen to while we're driving. I think that will get me through this ridiculous drive that we're going to take. It'll be a fun time, just a fun time, like I said. My excitement has not waned at all for this stack. I'm just so excited to be delving into books that I chose to read, that I want to read. And yeah. So while this one is coming in at a lower rating than what I wanted, still excited, still excited.
Drake, you want some foods? You want the pancakes? All right, today my kiddo is trying the TikTok trend of a fruit roll-up wrapped around mango ice cream with tahini. Let's see what he thinks.
Here we go. Very good.
Good?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like the texture of it.
Yeah.
I like that it's just frozen on the outside. It's got tahini. Nicer than a meal.
So 1 through 10, what's your rating?
Give it a 9.
9? That's pretty good.
Okay, guys, here we are for another update. You know, vlogging's fairly new to me. I will get better at like transitions and stuff like that. But right now, I have to say, I finished Amina Al-Sarafi. I'd recommend it. I think if you like seafaring adventures, it's definitely worth it. I'm just not a huge fan of like journey-esque type stories. However, I think Shannon Chakraborty's writing is still great. I loved the character that we followed, Amina Al-Sarafi. I thought that was awesome, but it's just not my type of story. And so like I'm still sitting at like a 3.5, and that's mostly based on enjoyment. Like, I don't know how else to say that. It just wasn't my type of story. So I do think that, I mean, I had no problems rounding it up to a 4 on Goodreads. And, you know, I don't do star ratings here anymore, even though lately I've been having an issue saying 4-star, 5-star, 3.5, all that stuff, because I'm trying to give some estimation of this book or the books that I'm enjoying. However, I just finished One Dark Window. This is for my lightsaber prompt. I loved this. I loved everything about this. I could not put it down. This has been one of my most anticipated reads of the year. I don't remember if I put this in my 5-star predictions or not, but gothic fantasy. Everything that you could possibly think of when those two words are put together. So sinister magic, dark atmosphere, things aren't what they seem. You know, combining those two terms really puts like an image in your head of what the book should be. This delivered. It delivered so well on what I imagine a gothic fantasy should be. Like, even Romance Gone Awry. That's just, I loved this so much. Now, I have noticed in trying to get this on camera and taking pictures of it, you guys can't tell that this, like, around the edges is teal. It looks gray on camera, but that's why I picked this, because the opposite of my favorite color. And that does earn me a lightsaber. Did I say that earlier? I don't remember. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. And there is a main character in here named Raven who I adore. I said to my Discord, he is my new boyfriend. I'm in love with him. He is one of those Kind of darker characters with a kind heart. Those always get me, always. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I did say also that I don't know if my enjoyment of the books that I'm picking up, say like One Dark Window, Engines of Chaos, things like that, I don't know if I'm rating them so high because I'm actually reading books I want to read, or if they were just that good. But in this moment, they're just that good. I do think Engines of Chaos, because I gave Engines of Empire 4.5 stars whenever I read it. So I definitely think that that one is holding up. But again, this one being everything I wanted it to be and a time that I needed it to happen, 5 stars. 5 stars. Easy 5 stars. And I really like, let me see if I can, we get lore in little chunks at the beginning of each chapter, and we get lore from the nightmare inside the girl's head. I was looking for bits of that too, but I didn't mark it. I should do like tab, but I'm not good about that either. And there is a lot of foreshadowing in this book. If you're paying attention, there's a lot of foreshadowing. And a lot of it is embedded in the things that the nightmare says and the lore that is revealed. And so I loved it. I loved everything about it. So that does mean that I need to pick the next book that I'm going to start. Also, something has happened, and I might need to make a change, but I have received Fractal Noise, Christopher Paolini. You guys have been here long enough to know I'm absolutely obsessed with Mass Effect. Obsessed. 100% obsessed. Jennifer Hale, which is the female Commander Shepard for Mass Effect, narrates these books, and I was obsessed with To Sleep in a Sea of Stars because of that. And now Fractal Noise has been offered to me, and I need to work it in, because if I don't, NetGalley will, you know, boot me out of it. So let's look and see if there is one I can actually... there are no books I can replace. Well, there's one that I could replace, but I really want to read it. So I might squeeze Fractal Noise in between all of these reads, because I do want to read it so badly. Oh, read a book in a different spot every time you pick it up. So I could do that. I could do that for my blaster prompt. I was planning on reading the next novella from Ali Hazelwood. I can just squeeze that in, because that's not going to take me any time. But yeah, so I need to read Fractal Noise, and so that's what I'm going to go with next, and we are going to go get our blaster. But I'm so excited for all of these books. They have just been so dang good. I'll see you in the next clip. Hey guys, I am coming at you to finish up this week's vlog, letting you know that I DNF'd Fractal Noise. I didn't like it. Jennifer Hale, she is still my queen. I love her. Her voice acting for it was so good. She sings. I was in heaven listening to her voice. However, this is another book that involves journeying, and I didn't like that. So I do think there will be a lot of people who really like this, but it's not for me. And if you like those stories of survival and trying to trudge through to survive, I think you'll like it. I do think you'll like it. I do think this took the worst parts of To Sleep in a Sea of Stars and made an entire book out of it. No, thank you. No, thank you. And I say that the worst parts for me, but I'm very sad because I was offered an advanced copy of the audiobook. And like I said, Jennifer Hale did a fantastic job. I listened to 56% of this not even liking the story because Jennifer Hale is such an amazing narrator. And I just couldn't get into it. And I'm one of those people who I don't like whiny main characters. And while this person is actually grieving, it's not really whining. I don't want to be in that headspace. So I do have problems with that as well. I have begun The Iron Crown by L.L. McCrae. I have been really eager to get to this one. Now, I did start it last month and then had to set it aside because I was having so many mental health issues that I was just like, I can't do this. I can't read and focus. So I did pick it back up. Now, for the blaster prompt that I'm working on, I have to move to a different spot every time I pick it up. So tonight I will be in my library, so I will be picking it up again. This one, I don't think is my style either. And I say that because I'm having a hard time getting invested in it. Amnesia. That is a trope I do not enjoy. And I did not know that we were dealing with a main character with amnesia. And that's kind of the whole point of the first part of this book. I'm 36% of the way through it. But we're trying to find out why so many people have been losing their memories. And it's not a trope that works for me, but I am pushing through because I do like the characters. I do like where the story's going. It's a little bit on the slow pace right now. We're not really doing much other than trying to figure this stuff out and running for our lives, which tends to lead to journeying, and that is happening. So there's not a whole lot gripping me at the beginning of this story other than the writing. I do enjoy the writing. So I am hoping that I won't DNF this because I have been looking forward to this story for quite a while. I know so many people really enjoy it, but currently a little nervous about it. But sometimes you just have to like read the book to know, because especially for me, there are specific tropes that I don't like. And it would be nice if books had like buzzwords on them that we could look at and I could say, okay, that's not for me, but that's just not the way it works. Not the way it works. And for every review I've seen, no one talks about the journey because that's not something that bugs them. I'm the one it bugs. And as far as tropes go, you don't really talk about the tropes unless they're tropes you like or tropes that bothered you. So amnesia is not one of them that's like a huge, people are tired of seeing it or anything like that. So I just, it's feeling like it's not the book for me. And don't worry, I am still very excited about my TBR for May. I have just had a couple that I didn't really enjoy. So that's where we are. I had one that I enjoyed immensely, but I'm very excited to see what the rest have. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog because if I don't end this vlog today, it won't go up on time. But yeah, like Amina Al-Sarafi was fine. Another journeying story. One Dark Window, loved it, loved it. And then I picked up Fractal Noise for my blaster prompt, and that was supposed to be my most anticipated book, or one of my most anticipated books, that it was supposed to be a easy win and just turned out not to be. And now Iron Crown is my blaster, and we shall see. We shall see. I want to get into the meat of this story before I decide whether or not it's for me, and possibly find out where this amnesia is stemming from, even though amnesia tropes aren't my favorite. That's it for me today. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!